Bagseed Chronicles. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bagseed Chronicles. This is your host, Uncle Dig, and I'm so happy that you've joined me again today. I don't have a guest for you today, as I have been extremely busy, and I've had trouble finding a guest, and I wanted to fill y'all in some problems, or not problems, challenges I've been going on in my more personal life, right? That have kept me from recording the podcast as often as I would like. My significant other, my silent partner, is sick. She has some sort of weird condition. We're still trying to get a proper diagnosis, but she is no longer working, and she's incapable of doing a lot of things that she normally does. So I've been having to pick up the slack everywhere. So if this becomes more sporadic, or if the quality suffers, I'm sorry. I am trying to juggle multiple plates on very long poles, but I think I'm doing okay so far. So we're treading water quite nicely. I'm sorry the podcast isn't coming out as often, but I promise you that I will keep you in my mind, and that I will continue to try to produce content and to think about cannabis in a creative way. And I've got an amazing gardening update for you today. When I do get this all put together, it's going to be really good. I've been thinking a lot about cannabis, as is always the case. And I am just, it was demoralizing when the mites came and ate a lot of my crop. But then I started trimming what I was able to pull in, and I still got an okay harvest. And I'm just feeling renewed and reinvigorated. At the beginning, towards the middle of the end of the summer, when the plants were really getting chewed up bad, and I thought I was going to lose my whole crop. I was really struggling. And I didn't think I was going to grow big outdoor plants anymore, and I still might not, but I may grow a couple, It's so fun, and I still got a really large yield off of, the Cannatonic and the CBD Dutch Treat, my morning smoke, my coveted CBD, my 2-to-1s, my 1-to-1s. And so that really makes me happy. And I managed to pull in some Amnesia Haze, and I still haven't completely destroyed my Fire Maroof, so I still might get some indica from the outdoors this year. We'll see. But there are no guarantees in farming, so you can't really get depressed when you lose a crop. I mean, I do. Everyone still does, but you should do your best to take it on the chin, because it happens to all of us at least once. I don't know too many growers who haven't lost a lot of pot to some pest or mold or mildew or plant disease. It happens to everyone. And if it hasn't happened to you, it hasn't happened to you yet. It will happen to you eventually. I know there are growers that haven't run into really major pest problems, but a lot of times those are really lucky or really young growers. This year I've had mites, thrips, and I've got a new bug. And I think it is a true bug. I haven't been able to identify it yet, so I'm still doing some research. Some of these littler, true bugs can be hard to identify. A lot of their eggs look the same. I don't even know if this is a predatory bug or not, so maybe I'll update you about that later, but I still haven't figured out what it is. I don't even know if it's predatory or if it's hurting or helping my plants. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Sick wife, frantic life, right? So that's what I've got going on here. And let's move on into the show. I've been like toying with the idea of being a little more whimsical and introducing a little bit more fun fiction into the podcast, more along the lines of the introduction to the history segments some of y'all, I hope, have heard. And if you want to check some of those, check out the back catalog. There's a bunch of different episodes that y'all could listen to. I've been doing this now for well over a year. And so I would recommend you listen to one of the longer interview podcasts. If you listened all the way to the end of some of the podcasts, I do fun edits at the end because I think they're funny, and I think they harken back to like old radio programs that I enjoy, like fun drops and stuff. And so I like to do that stuff. The show is a little heavier on the edits than maybe y'all think. And those drops can take a fair amount of time to create and edit, and there's an inherent risk with copyrights there that I think y'all are aware of that I'm taking. Fair use and all that, but I don't post the show on YouTube for that reason. Some of y'all have asked me, why I don't post the Backseat Chronicles on YouTube, and that's why. I frequently take little clips of like pop culture from YouTube and then post them cut sounds and then modify them and then put them in here. And I don't think YouTube would like that. And I think they've had a mixed record of dealing with fair use issues. And so I don't want to poke the bear, and I still want access to those clips to make the show and do creative cuts and stuff. I know that sounds weird, but like y'all can take cuts of this and use it in whatever you're making. Like I don't care. I kind of have the controversial view that like, yes, an actor should get paid for performances or work, and there should be some framework of setting it up, but at the end of the day also I think fair use comes to play, and I think that once it leaves you own it a little less, right? Like, does Van Morrison really own Brown Eyed Girl anymore? Or maybe not. He might have been one of those guys that sold. Was it Van Morrison that sang Brown Eyed Girl? Oh, God. Am I going to sound like I could edit? Hold on. Fuck. Okay, I'm not an asshole. It was Van Morrison who sang Brown Eyed Girl. It's funny. I always associated brown-eyed women with, like, regularity, And I think if you listen to that song, you can't help but feel nostalgic, unless you've never had a brown-eyed girlfriend in that case. I don't know what to tell you. Or you had, like, a bad relationship with a brown-eyed girl, then you wouldn't feel so whimsical. I don't know. I assume Van Morrison has positive feelings toward that woman in some way. But anyway, there's a cannabis podcast, not a music podcast. Got green eyes looking at me right now. And that's so weird. I always associated green eyes with, like, aggressive, scary women who were kind of sexy, and now I'm married to a green-eyed woman, so that's very interesting. Anyway, welcome to this episode of the Backseat Chronicles. We're going to do a garden update for sure, and then maybe we'll get a little silly. Let's overgrow the world. Uncle Dig's garden update. Oh, my sweet, sweet baby Jesus. Hey, we are in gardening zone 8B. It is officially spooky season. It's October 3rd, 2022. And this is me, Uncle Dig, with your garden update. It has been getting cooler at night, but we've got another warm snap coming in Southern Oregon. And speaking of that, let's talk about my peppers. My peppers are doing great this year. I have more than I know what to do with. I've given some to family. I pickled my jalapenos, and I've already eaten all of them. They were delicious. I've dried some spicy chilies. I've frozen some others. I've made one batch of hot sauce. I'm getting ready to make much more. And the habanada chilies, the heatless habaneros, are coming right now, and I'll be picking them in the next couple of days, most likely. So the pepper garden has been doing great, and it looks like I'm going to pick some more peppers from the other plants as well before the cold finally does kill them. So that's exciting. So let's talk about what's left in the photo period garden. Right, I've still got 2 Fire of Maruf plants, Fire of Maruf 2 and Fire of Maruf 5. Both of them still have flowers on, and we're not completely eaten by mites, but the yield is going to be probably negligible. But I'm excited to taste what little flower I do have. They're both milky and should start turning amber hopefully in the next week, so I can chop those bad girls down and move them on into my garage. But we'll see what happens. Now let's talk about the autoflowers. I did harvest one autoflower. It's still drying. It's the smallest plant I've ever harvested. You can see it on my Instagram. It's about the size of the last digit on my pinky finger. It's a blackberry from 420 Fast Buds that I overwatered, and then it just never got big. And then, of course, I have the 2 big buds. Both of them are getting bigger. One of them is flowering, and I've got her LST'd close to the ground, and she's outside, and so hopefully she'll put on a lot of weight for me with this heat snap we're coming through. We're gonna have a lot of nice hot weather, so those outdoor autos will have a chance to really bulk up, hopefully. Now I have an Afghan Kush that I overwatered, and it's just coming out of its stunting, but I don't think it's going to yield very much either. And then same thing with a candy cane I also overwatered early on in its youth, although it's a little bit bigger, but I don't imagine it'll put much more on than an eighth. So mixed results in the autoflower garden, getting some good results in some well-drained soil and some bad results in some soil I made myself as an experiment where I just threw a bunch of seed starter mix in with some old soil that I was reusing, and as a result, it didn't result good. It wasn't good. So that's how we learn, you know. And then I have the 2 indoor autoflowers, the 2 Tangerine Dreams. They are performing well and are being LST'd. They are in 3-gallon pots. But I bet the question you're all wondering, right? What are you all curious about is like, what did my other plants yield, right? So generally for an outdoor grower in my region, it's kind of faux pas to be public with what your yields are. I'm rejecting that now. I'm going to be open about what my yields were this summer, partially because I lost a hell of a lot of weed, and I'm not as worried about shouting like, I have like whatever pounds of weed or whatever. So let's first talk about how much the Amnesia Hazes yielded. So the Amnesia Haze 1, I got about 5 ounces off of that, which is not too bad. It would have. It's really bad actually. It had a pound on it, and I told you I got mites and stuff, so it didn't go so well. But I did get something out of it, so I'm excited about what I did get, and I've been enjoying that, and it's very sweet. It's very nice. The Amnesia Haze 2, unfortunately, only yielded 2 ounces off that big outdoor plant. I know. But there are no guarantees in farming, and it's delicious smoke, and it's my favorite phenotype is the Amnesia Haze 2. Now, really, really happy with the yield off the Cannatonic. The Cannatonic, I had to defoliate, but not as much, and I actually got 16.01 ounces, so I just got just over a pound off the Cannatonic. That's in a 30-gallon pot with a flexible trellis. So that's pretty cool. I got a pound off of that. So I'm really excited about that. I've got a lot of good morning CBD smoke, and I've got a pound of it, which is always very exciting. So I'll have plenty of that to smoke. Now let's talk about my CBD Dutch treat. Y'all, I am sure saw that I also had to defoliate that rather heavy. And it was kind of a struggle. But then in the end, we ended up yielding pretty well. So the CBD Dutch treat yielded 1.6 pounds, or just over 1.5 pounds. So that's been one of my better yielders in the past few years, and I'm very, very, very happy with the results. And I just really enjoy growing these CBD strains out. So still a decent harvest this year. Did not and probably won't get the amount of indica that I wanted to get this year, but we're going to be continuing indoor as soon as I'm done drying the outdoor this year in the garage. As soon as I'm drying the big outdoor plants, I'm going to start some autoflowers in the 4x4. So we'll be off to the races again. And I should be looking at another couple of bigger indoor harvests in the next few months. Let's overgrow the world. 2.5 pounds of CBD. It's fucking awesome. Hey, I'm Miner Pete, and when I'm not mining gold in the summer, when autumn comes around, I use all my gold filtering equipment to filter out something extra special. That's right. It's the finest joint sweetener. When your joint's feeling a little light, when you've been smoking the same strain over again, or you just toking a little too much, puffing a little too tough, and your tolerance needs a little bit more than a break can give you, well, have Miner Pete's joint sweetener. It's hash, you idiot. I ain't had no prime in a while, and I can feel that fire. I've been waiting on the back porch, and I got food in my teeth. I got a short, green-eyed thing waiting back for me. But I can't feel the warmth until the 17th. So I'm stuck here in this tower. Hope I ain't got one with a name of me. Shit. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Bagseed Chronicles, please share it with a friend. After all, the best bag seeds always are. And if you're feeling really crazy, why don't you review this thing on iTunes, man? That'd be fun. You can reach me, Uncle Dig, on Instagram at Uncle Dig. The bumper music on this podcast was produced by Chad DeVilliers on ukulele. He can be followed on YouTube at Ukuleles Are Stupid or on Instagram at Chadwick Enterprises. Thank you for listening to the Bagseed Chronicles.